In this video, I'm teaming up with my friend Troy, and we're each going to build a piece of Warhammer 40,000 terrain from Tim Hortons Recycling. Hey Troy, I'm going to Tim's. Do you want anything?
Yeah, I could use another coffee. And some Tim Mitts. Thanks, man.
If you're ready to reduce, reuse, and recycle, then stick around. You won't believe how awesome this pile of trash can look. We started this build by actually hoarding and collecting all of this recycling we would usually throw out. We're using Tim Hortons here. It's a very popular chain in Canada. The other part of this challenge was to come up with something that would fit well on a winter or ice board. Both of us are Canadian, so this seemed like an appropriate theme. I did some reading on Fenris, the homeworld of the Space Wolves chapter of the Space Marines. Starting off with some reference sketches. Fenris has these giant defense lasers that protect from incoming threats. I thought I could easily make the laser cannon out of some straws, and make the rest up as I went along. My initial plan had some extra fortifications coming out, but in the end, I just decided to build the one building for simplicity. In order to have a fully articulated cannon turret, the best way I thought of doing that was using these two soup cup lids and a magnet in the middle to hold them together. Figured I could jerry-rig something up in the internals of the turret and let the barrel move up and down later. These 4 cups are going to be my base for the building. And then I went about making this larger cup out of some smaller cups to go on top. Using these Timbit boxes, also known as donut holes in the States, I made some flat panels that could go on the sides and make this look less like I was delivering the morning coffee and forgot which way was up. I'd already opened this can of spray insulation a week prior, so I used the last of it to fill in the middle of the cups to give them some internal strength and to stop me from crushing them in. Let's do some work on the cannon part. I don't drink coffee with a straw, but I know some people do. I've been asking for extra straws to go with my coffee order, and these will make for some excellent cannon shooty parts. The cardboard that the coffee cups are made of is actually really neat. It bends very easily, but is quite sturdy. So I was able to make these pieces that wrapped around the cannon and give it some decoration. With some leftover Timbit box and coffee stir sticks, I made a box for the base of the cannon, and then made a scaffolding for the cannon to swivel on. I cheated and used a barbecue skewer here. Missed opportunity here for coffee chains. Can you imagine barbecue skewered donut holes? At this point, I realized this was going to be way too tall to be playable, so I removed the top part, favoring a more modest design. I used the rest of the cardstock I had to cloud the top of the structure with a bit of an overhang to make the top platform. This would be where the cannon is mounted, which would look cool on one of the corners instead of right in the middle. This gives the piece more playable area to add miniatures to as well. For the cannon, I punched some holes in it to give this sort of muzzle flash cooling thingy you see on some guns. This would wrap around the very end of the cannon tip. I then added some metal washers to make sure these connections wouldn't wear away with repeated use. And then I weighted down the back of the cannon so that it wouldn't tip forward from the weight and could semi-balance itself as well. Because I was worried about being able to paint inside the turret once it was finished, I gave this part a quick paint job using a dark latex paint. Now to add some details. I didn't have a lot of flat cardstock left, so I wanted to see if I could make some from the coffee cups. This is a lesson learned for me. You could basically turn anything into a reliable building material if you take some time to cut it properly. I found that if I cut it up and rolled out the full length of it, and then trimmed it down to a square, I could get pieces that were quite usable. Using these 1/2-inch strips, I made some corner pillars that would give this building a lot more personality. Using tape for the assembly and then hot glue to give it strength made this process very simple. Now it really starts to look more like an impregnable bastion made of concrete and steel. I added these extra braces along the side and some coffee stir sticks as well to separate this building into multiple levels. I wonder if Troy's looks any better. Mine still looks like a pile of trash.
Okay, here's a moment of truth. I'm going to put these 2 wires on that battery and see if this thing spins or the vibrations alone shakes her to pieces.
Dang, he's adding electronics? I need to step up my game. Hit that like button if you think I'm cheating here, but I printed off a whole bunch of parts from 7 United's designs on Thingiverse. Seriously, if you haven't checked his stuff out yet, it's fantastic. His Instagram account is full of awesome builds too. I'll put a link in the description. Okay, let's build the housing for the turret now. Using these 2 coffee cup lids and some more coffee cup cardboard, I made a little housing unit with a slit in the front for the barrel to poke out of, and hopefully still move. Decorating it with more 3D printed parts, as well as some random other bits, like this bottle cap. This is starting to look a lot less like junk. Figured that adding some gears would make the top look great, and would hint at the mechanism that would be used to rotate the whole turret around its axis. I also added a hatch at the top for anyone to come out of, and a door at the base for anyone to go into the building with. I think we'll need to come up with a data sheet for this building, as it's technically not classified as terrain anymore. Leave a comment if you have any ideas on this. Let's make some of these barrier shooty hole fortifications at the top now. I made 6 of these exact pieces and bent the corners at 45-degree angles. These should provide a lot of cover for anyone up top to shoot down. A little test run with some miniatures confirms this looks appropriately sized. Let's glue on some more random bits and wires, which make absolutely no sense on this building whatsoever. Why would you leave all your wires exposed like this on a fortification? They better not be powering anything important, or a stray laser or plasma blast could take out a vital function of the building if you target them. In all of sci-fi, I can't think of any other structure that has an easily exploitable weakness that's super accessible like this. Giving this a generous coat of oil primer to seal in all those different material types. We have a lot of cardboard and plastic here, so getting a nice even surface for painting is going to be key. To be extra safe, once that dried, I also gave it a coat of black spray primer as well. Might be overkill, but you never know. For painting, I'm choosing a very basic color scheme. Doing the edges in dark blue, the tech details and 3D printed parts get a brown base coat, and all the pipes and wires get Narb's favorite green. There's a section on notable defense lasers on the 40k wiki page. So the Warhammer 40k lore actually does have named weaponry at this scale. I'm not just making this stuff up, there is precedent. In any case, this defense laser now carries the name of Dylan's Wrath. May it protect the Empire in your name for many millennia.
Hold on now. You're gonna hear some noises.
There's noises?
Some noises, yeah.
Why is there noises? Oh no. What? Oh my god, you motorized it. No way. What is that? What is this build? You went overboard on this. This is crazy.
I was like, man, I had no idea what I was gonna do when I started this, like at all.
That's really good. That's fantastic. I had a ton of fun building this, and it looks like Troy did too. If you want to see what he built, go check out his video. I highly recommend it. Linked it in the card up here as well as in the end credits. Make sure you also check out his reaction to my build at the end of his video. We'd like to extend this challenge to the rest of the crafting community. What can you guys make from your local coffee shop's recycling? See you around.